Hello everyone and welcome to another high-low game of Age of Empires. Today yours truly has to issue a formal public apology to actor Colin Farrell, who I assume watches my videos every single day. I previously said that I couldn't think of a single good role he played in a good movie, but then yesterday I watched the first episode of The Penguin, and I must say he was absolutely fantastic in it. He was actually so good I couldn't believe it was him underneath that fat suit. And so, having humbly eaten my crow, I sit down to watch Liereyy playing as the Georgians in yellow take on Mr. Yo playing as the Huns in blue. Now, while the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP, not a bad time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today. Forget the movies, forget the TV shows. We are here for one thing and one thing only, and that is to watch the Georgians, a cavalry-centric civilization with some powerful supporting economic bonuses. To start with, all Georgian mounted units automatically regenerate HP and can be upgraded to take up 15% less population space, both of which helps them mass their unique unit, the Manaspa. This is a heavily armored cavalry unit whose attack actually increases when there are other Manaspas or Nightline units in the vicinity. Now, in addition, like the Tatars, very important for the Georgians to take the high ground in any kind of battle or construction project, since all Georgian units and buildings take 40% less damage when fighting downhill compared to the usual 25%. That helped the Georgians build as big and powerful an army as possible. They do start the game, as you can see it here, with a free donkey cart. Their fortified churches increase the work rate of villagers by 10% that are in the vicinity, and their economy, their settlement, can be much harder to raid since repairing structures does cost 25% fewer resources. Their defensive structures, which by the way includes their town centers, can be upgraded to get a +2 attack boost, and their towers can be upgraded to deal pass-through damage. Now, which units and enemy might those towers be firing upon? It might be Mr. Yo playing as the Huns in blue, civilization designed to take the fight to its enemy with speed and mobility. Hunnic cav archers do get progressively cheaper, 10% in castle, 20% in imperial. Their trebs fire more accurately at at units, and their stables work 20% faster, which is great because you can actually upgrade the stables of the Huns to train their unique unit. Think the Goths, think Italians. In this particular case, not a foot soldier, but a mounted unit, the Tarkin. This is a medium cavalry unit with a high amount of pierce armor and an attack bonus against buildings that makes it absolutely amazing at late game raiding and destruction. Now, to help support its military, the Huns don't actually need any houses, since if you take a look at the top where my mouse is doing a bit of a loop-de-loop, you'll notice they start the game with 200 population space already available, which does free up both wood and villager construction time during those precious early minutes of the game. Although, for those of you eagle-eyed viewers who may have just been looking at the top right of your screen for some weird reason, right at the 001 mark of the game, this feature does come at the cost of 100 wood. So those are the two civilizations we've got before us. I'm expecting a lot of fast-paced mounted action between these two. Speaking of, why don't we take a look at the actual attack path between the two bases? A nice A to B with one open space, two open space, and a big, thick, juicy forest in the middle, easily navigated to the south and the north with a relic right in the center of the map. Let's take a look at the Georgian base. Primary gold to the back, primary stone, not really on the attack path, but also not really safe. Extra gold, ooh, bottom left, bottom right of the base, and extra stone. Looking at the minimap, where are you? There you are, nice and to the back. So in an actual mirror spawn for the first time in a long time at the 10 o'clock position and the 4 o'clock position. Very interesting. Mr. Yo is gold in the forward position, stone kind of to the back, kind of annoyingly placed on a hill. Extra gold and stone to the rear of his base. And where's his third pile of gold? It is out here very far to the left. Now this base is completely open, as is the Georgian base. Forests look like they are in the number 3, and it looks like they are quite small. So not sure these are going to provide any coverage or any kind of defensive strategic value whatsoever. And at least whereas our Georgian has his forests in a cup shape in the forward position, Mr. Yo has his kind of off to the side with one to the rear. So both players spawning in what has lately been a very nasty, very open Arabia style map, which, to be fair, everyone seems to be spawning on this weird open map these days. Looks like our Georgian will be first to the Feudal Age. Didn't research Loom, has 2 fewer villagers, and so is it any wonder he hit it seconds, or rather minute, before his opponent. His opponent, who, by the way, has already about 20 seconds away. See, Liereyy discovers where his opponent's base is. It takes on a villager, but she's got Loom, so has nothing really to worry about. Mysterio has not even begun exploring the map. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, he brings the second villager, does Mysterio, walls himself in, and now the vills are safe. Mysterio, for his part, seems to have gone, not too sure exactly where he's gone, whereas it looks like Liereyy just made a straight line for Mysterio's base. So Liereyy, assuming that the map spawned logically in this particular instance, is correct, whereas Mysterio, I feel like he went more of the traditional, hey, this is Age of Empires, so there's no way 9 times out of 10, if I'm at the 4 o'clock, you're not going to be at the 10 o'clock. You're probably going to be at the 1 o'clock or at the 7 o'clock. But in this case, he discovers now where his opponent is. I think this might just be a capture age thing. I think he did see the town center. But our Georgian is already here. Remember, these scouts do regenerate HP, and thanks to the user interface of capture age, we see that it is 5 HP per minute, and then 10 in castle, and then 15 in imperial, which is what it originally started out as, and then it got a little different. Then it came back to the norm. And we got a bit of a chase here. The longer Liereyy can keep these scouts alive, the better it is for him, because again, if they keep regenerating, you just send them out onto the map. They go out looking for relics, and then they come home, and all of a sudden they're full of HP, full of piss and vigor, and ready to take on whatever the next battle is. And the battle is right now a battle of zoning, as 2 spearmen zone out 3 scouts. A couple of scouts chasing into one another. Our Georgian takes the high ground, which is fantastic. Remember, 40% less damage. Not like the Tatars that do an extra 25% damage on the offense. The Georgians is a more of a defensive bonus characteristic, as 3 Georgian scouts now go to the rear of the base. We've got a bit of a chase. All of a sudden, action all over the place. Ooh, wait a second. Wait a second. This is a very exposed villager. He's not fighting back. He is not fighting back at all. And I can't really tell if that was the first kill of the game or not. All of a sudden, the kill count is 2-2. What happened to the... Okay, it looks like there was a bit of a bloody battle here as well. So 2 kills on this side of the map, 2 kills on this side of the map, but it looks like Mysterio has managed to get the first villager kill of the game. And our Georgian, who was down 2 villagers, now is down 1 villager. We'll have seen that attack in picture at the bottom right of our map. Okay. Mysterio's scout overstays his welcome, and a band of brothers here on horses. 5 of them, their HP should be hitting 208, 209, 210, as it climbs more and more. Super cool feature of the Georgians. There was a lot of talk about the Armenians when they first came out, and the composite bowman ignoring armor like a Latus with a bow and arrow and no horse. But man, oh man, have the Georgians proven themselves to be an absolute terrifying civilization to play against. That Manaspa is just an absolute nightmare to deal with its armor. I'm very curious to see how Mysterio plays this. I feel like he's going to have to be the one dictating the pace of the game, and he's doing exactly that. Oh. Hey, kids, don't do drugs. Otherwise, that's going to happen to you. Mysterio gets a second villager kill. Oh, but he might lose a villager himself now. No, he runs away from the spearman. Really? With this many scouts that regenerate HP? He does get the scout, but it does give Mysterio an opportunity to wall himself back in, but temporarily. Will he chase? He does. He gets 1 scout, or pardon me, 1 villager. Tiger does not get activated. He doesn't care about scouts. He's out there for a bigger meal. An absolute back and forth so far. Both players killing villagers. We've seen a lot of vill kills lately in the last couple of games. The last 3 games, the Viper, then MBL. Will it be the same in this game? I don't see double archery range out of our Hun. I see 1 of everything. Although as the Huns, you gotta have to assume we're gonna see some kind of cav archer play, right? You have to assume, but then watch them go something completely Like when the Viper played Huns against Harris Tatars and just go complete siege in Castle Age. Just because I said they kind of have to go Cav Archers, don't they? Hum-da-dum-da-dum. Liereyy is back. He's brought a few archers with him this time. They are going to zone out these spearmen, and if they can zone out the spearmen and move the hell out of the way, the scouts will clear up the skirmishers. Not too sure who's getting the better end of this fight. So far, Lierey's kill count very much ahead of his opponent, almost double. And also, remember, does have that one villager kill. Now he's going to chase the spearmen. They do not regenerate HP. Maybe that's the next... in the next DLC, there will be a civilization introduced whose archer units regenerate HP, like the Viking Berserker, the Pole Villager. And we are firmly ensconced in the Feudal Age. Absolutely nobody is banking any kind of resources except Mr. Yo, who has the gold he needs. Does manage to pick off an archer here to the right side. But the skirmishers, did they extend a little bit too much? He keeps moving them out and then running them back underneath the TC, but every time he does so, they take a little bit of HP damage, And he can't exactly heal them in the Feudal Age unless he shoves them back into the town center. Meanwhile, Liereyy is just running around. Now he's got double the kill count. Now he catches out the skirmishers. It kind of sucks that he lost an archer, because without that archer, he can't really harass the lumberjacks anymore. But reinforcements have arrived. And Mr. Yo's in a bit of trouble here all of a sudden. He's got villagers that can actually get got. 3 archers, and the villagers are running straight into the meat grinder. How many will he catch? Let's see how well this Feudal Age army can do here. So far, the army itself is kind of shitting the bed. Okay, does manage to get a Vil kill here. Pardon me, 2 villager kills. And a skirmisher. Liereyy is now 17 kills ahead. He is ahead 6 villagers and 11 army count. Our Georgian is just ramping up the pressure so well in the Feudal Age, while back home, he's just walling himself in more and more, keeping himself safe. Not really taking any of his major resources here. Looks like only the main gold. The other 4 left outside of the settlement. But to be fair, his opponent, Mr. Yo, hasn't even walled off his base at all. And what the hell is this? It looked like for a second he was about to have 50 gold miners. But what the hell can you do? Where can you go? Mr. Yo has nowhere to send his villagers. He can't send them here. He can't send them here. Oh, this is so sour for our Hun. The only saving grace is he's going to hit Castle Age a little bit ahead of his opponent. And here we go. Triple archery range. But you need lumberjacks. We saw in yesterday's game what happens when you go triple archery range, but you do not have the wood or the wood gathering capacity to use them optimally. I love that there's a random skirmisher play here as well to keep these archers away, but Mr. Yo is getting dive bombed by these Georgian units. Units which again are just regenerating more and more HP. Looks like a spearman is trying to run in and catch up, but he gets immediately sniped. Fantastic play so far out of Liereyy. He's now ahead 29 kills, 5 villager kills to 2. And it looks like his base, pretty damn safe, except I don't know what this is. I saw that earlier. I was thinking, okay, maybe by the time I go back, it's going to be a house. It kind of sucks. I say this every time we watch the Huns. It kind of sucks for the Huns. I feel kind of bad for them. Not that they're a bad civilization, not that they're not incredibly powerful in their own right, but not even being able to have the, not being able to even construct a house is kind of sour in a game where the top players, one of the features that distinguishes top players from mid players is walling. Whether it's walling in your economy or walling in your opponent or quick walling when you're under attack. Doesn't matter what kind of walling. If you can't use a house, a super cheap there. Okay, now he plugs it up with a house. The Huns can't even build it. And forget needing it. I get they don't need it with 200 population. Oops, pardon me. At the start of every game. But at least give them the ability to build a house. Although maybe you're not supposed to. Maybe like the Goths, maybe like the Cumans, you're not really meant to be a super duper defensive civilization. Cav archers are out. They number 5, going up to 7. Skirmisher as well will zone out these Feudal Age archers. Both players are in Castle. Liereyy, what are you doing? You're upgrading your scouts to light cav. You also have 800 gold. I wonder why he's got 800 gold. High ground here for our Georgian, remember, is going to keep these archers alive for a little bit longer. They are doing not terrible for a Feudal Age unit that's taking on Cav Archers. And by the way, the Hunnic Cav Archer in Castle Age, ain't nothing wrong with that Cav Archer. It's really an Imperial Age where, because they get the 20% discount, that they are missing one thing only, and that is the last armor upgrade, the Ring Archer armor upgrade. Aside from that, in Castle Age, this is an absolute beast of a unit, 10% cheaper. Every available upgrade in the game in Castle Age. And now he's running away. Let's see the regeneration. Now it's 10 HP regeneration per minute. Back home, our Georgian has added a second TC near the stone. Manaspa. Are we going to get to see 2024's most sexy unit of the game? Second TC also going up for our Hun. Wood and gold. All right. Wood and gold. That is absolutely fantastic to see, which means he is going to be able to train more and more Cav Archers. He says as not a single one gets trained. Man, oh man. One day I'm just going to make right calls, you know? Well, one day there's going to be a game where everything that I say is going to happen or should happen will actually happen. Never mind, he's saving his resources for ballistics. They both are. Our Georgian adding elite skirmishers, plugging up a few more gaps in his wall off with a university and more houses. But here come the Cav Archers. Let's see what kind of damage Mr. Yo can get on the other side of the dun, on the other side of the map. It's been a while since he's been here. And by the way, Liereyy has jacked his wood a little bit too much. His forward position is exposed. Not that this is much of a deterrent to Cav Archers, a 250 HP palisade, but oh, Mr. Yo doesn't notice. He doesn't notice. He runs straight into the band of skirmishers and loses 3 Cav Archers in the blink of a horse's eye. Liereyy ahead 7 villagers. He's ahead 6 army count. Mr. Yo's got the mobility, but he's got to use it. Cav Archers are fantastic, but you got to run around. You got to find areas to snipe. This, as much as it looks very scary, is small D deterrent. You can still park your Cav Archers right here. This is a lot of exposed villagers right now, as are these. To be fair, these not so much. This is pretty exposed. So Mr. Yo has some opportunities here to maybe get some damage done by killing some villagers. Instead, he's choosing to spay and neuter the wildlife population. Liereyy pulls his vills into the fortified church. The fortified church, by the way, works the same as a TC. Adds arrow fire to villagers that are garrisoned inside. And Mr. Yo is finally starting to get some kills. Gets a 3rd villager kill after getting those first 2 early on, and he runs into the farming community. 1 extra. 2 extra. 3 extra. We go after the... Okay, so 3 more villager kills all of a sudden. He has more vill kills than his opponent, but unfortunately for him, he's trapped. Dum dum dum. 3 Cav Archers, 4 Cav Archers, 5 Cav Archers just die in a conga line of absolute mayhem. But they do manage to pick off the spearmen. They do come with an attack bonus against spearmen. Oh, look at this. Liereyy says, hey, I'm playing in yellow, so I may as well channel my inner viper. And he walls those Cav Archers. Not that they could have gone much further, but that was a fun little maneuver. And Mr. Yo's entire offensive force bites the dust. He sends out a fresh band of 8, 9 Cav Archers, 10 Cav Archers. There is a bit of an older force, no kills, but veterans nonetheless, who should be able to shoo away these gold miners. Ooh, so Mr. Yo's putting some pressure to the north at the same time the south, but our Georgian not only building his first castle, but already has a bit of a slower but powerful deterrent here in the bottom center of his settlement. I think Liereyy may have forgotten about these 5 scouts who should be in the next couple of seconds at 100% HP. Thank you, developers of Age of Empires, for giving them the 10 HP regeneration feature. Mr. Yo's up to 21 Cav Archers. Now he's getting melee cavalry armor. For what? Okay, he's added a knight. For 1 knight, you're getting that upgrade? Okay. Is he going to discover that there's a castle? He does. Is it too late? Is it too late? Oh, Mr. Yo, yet again. Okay, luckily for him. Oh, that could have been a lot worse. All right, he remembers that he's got a bit of an army here. Does Liereyy. And now he's going to shove himself in. So all of a sudden, we've got 3 attack fronts happening. Manaspas are out. They are running away. leaving the knight to deal with this. But now, wait a second. He's trapping Mr. Yo yet again. 5 villagers in here. Oh my god, what a brilliant trap out of our Georgian. Stop moving, and start firing. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pardon me, cav archers. So Mr. Yo escapes, but he does not escape unharmed. It looks like a Manaspa did die here to whatever force this was. Mangonel added in as well. Nice way to deal with some of these skirmishers. And the armor is for the knights that he's got to deal with the skirmishers. Now he's gone up to 3 knights. 2 of them are in this position. 1 of them is back here. Ooh, no. This is like a game of Mr. Yo discovering things way too late. He discovered the skirmishers here way too late. He discovered this castle way too late. He discovered the trap way too late. And now for the first time he actually discovered... Actually, did he discover? No, he still hasn't seen the castle, so never mind. This is part of the example. Doesn't apply. Ignore my ramblings. But he says, you know what? Enough with the Hydra attacks. Enough with the multiple and multi-pronged attacks. I'm just going to conglomerate my army into a big fist. A fist with a thumb ring on it, holding the string of my bow. And he's going up to 26 cav archers. Now, if Liereyy continues going Manaspa with husbandry, I believe they are the only medium cavalry unit with this insane level of armor that can actually catch up to a cav archer. I think they are both at 1.54 tiles per second. Yeah, they are. Mysterio lays siege. No villagers being brought forward, I don't think, to build any kind of infrastructure. So it means he's got to get damage done. But a 3rd castle in a belt of castles going up for our Georgian. Liereyy is just taking the better trades right now. He is losing skirmishers. Sure, a few knights and Manaspas down south. But so far in the war against the cav archers, just a few skirmishers. Now, I don't know about this maneuver. I don't know about this. To be fair, he did keep Mr. Yo in place. He did kill the Mangonel. He did move the skirmishers forward. But what did it cost them? A few Manaspas there in the 4th position. So not bad at all, actually, at Liereyy. I thought that was going to be a lot worse than it was going to be, like the fate of that one villager who jumps out in the middle of nowhere. You guys are building a donkey cart in the worst possible location at the worst possible time. The Manaspas, though, are chasing. Liereyy is a minute away from Imperial. Look at the armor on this unit. It is a base of a 2 pierce armor with 2, so 4 pierce armor against 8 attack. This is where the Manaspas, one of their very, very few weaknesses comes into play, which is their absolutely terrible HP. Double-digit HP. No, you're not seeing that wrong. That is double-digit HP on a heavy cavalry unit, because otherwise it just wouldn't be fair at all. And look how many cav archers it's taking to kill these skirmishers, because those skirmishers were on the high ground, taking 40% less damage. Mr. Yo, for his part, has killed 13 villagers. He's 2.5 minutes away from Imperial himself. I really wish he would have built some forward infrastructure. He does now have possession of 1 relic. Usually Mr. Yo has a lot more relics. I see 1, 2 more out on the map, which tells me somebody is returning home with a relic. It is either a yellow monk. Yeah, it's got to be a yellow monk, right? Because Mr. Yo just has 1 monk and it's here. Where's the monastery? Oh, this is the fortified church, I mean. Anyway, forget the relics. As the Georgian shoves in, the Georgian gets attacked. Now he's 7 seconds away from having a whole bunch more armor. It's going to jump from 4 to 6. And when you have 6 armor against the unit that attacks on an 8 and does only 2 damage to you, and that's assuming you're not on the high ground, 2 damage, you can afford to have 95 HP. Let's see a massive brawl. No, never mind. Liereyy says, you know what? I know how my armor works. I know how weak your attack is. I'm just going to peel off a group, and then the rest are going to go straight into your base. I can't tell if this is brilliant or if it's going to cost Liereyy a whole bunch of Manaspas right now. Let's see. Oh, he is slaughtering the cav archers. And remember, like I said, this is one of the few heavily armored cavalry units that can actually chase into the cav archers, but there's a castle here. So their fate is sealed. These Menaspas, they can get damage done, but they are all going to die. Holy moly, how tanky are these units? But at the same time, look at what's happening in Mysterio's base. Villagers, no, are running into the middle of nowhere. The killing fields, and Liereyy notices it, and it's over. Liereyy notices it, brings down a whole bunch of Menaspas. Holy moly, how many Menaspas do we have in the vicinity? 12. So it should be, with iron casting, just a +3 attack. So Liereyy never getting the numbers that he needed, but the upgrades that he needed. Look at the freaking numbers and the stats on this unit. Just a ridiculous unit. I mean, what the hell? Come on, 14 base attack, paladin level base attack, 5 melee pierce, 5 melee armor base, 2 pierce armor base, and Mysterio, I guess peeling off that group of Menaspas. I thought we were gonna get to see a massive Menaspa crush into cav archer fight, but instead Liereyy pushes with what I think were like 8, 9, maybe 10 Menaspas out of his main body. Let's see that again. And Mysterio has no choice but to retreat. I want to see how many of these units. So he's starting with 26, which, by the way, again, is not enough. You need 29, because it's your Menaspa plus 7 others. So you need 8, 15, 22, 29. So this one with just forging, pardon me, which gives him +1, gets another +3 for free, but not up to the maximum of +4. So not exactly the perfect number of Menaspas. So how many did he peel off? 10. But again, these 26 cav archers, they're doing 52 damage per volley to a unit that has 95 HP. And by the way, in 10 seconds, going to have more than that because it's going up to elite. And what a brilliant move. I was so focused on this. Let's see what he actually does inside the base. Carves up his Menaspas into 2 groups. Reconglomerates it. 1 group, 2 group, 3 groups. And then, yeah, he notices the villagers congregating here to the south and immediately pulls down his 8 more Menaspas, and they're just going to slaughter these villagers. Wow. Well, you know what? For the first time, we didn't have a game decided in the 29, 30, 31 minute mark by villager kills. Instead, we had it decided by an absolutely fantastic maneuver out of Liereyy to peel off 10 of his 20-some odd Menaspas to go after the cav archers, zone them out completely. Look how far out of position Mysterio's army is. This is 14 army count out of 24. And the others, they're spawning over here and immediately getting attacked. So whereas the cav archer does a massive 2 damage to the Menaspa attacks, let's ignore the additional attack. And let's say just including iron casting, because sometimes one Menaspa dies and then halfway through the battle, you lose your bonus. Let's say they just were attacking on a 14 plus 2. So 16 attack against your 2 armor is a 14 damage hit. So you do 2 damage to your opponent, and your opponent does 14 damage to you. 7 times the damage. And is it any surprise that Mysterio, with his army completely out of position, his reinforcements getting immediately pounced on, and an absolute massacre about to happen here of villagers? Somebody call the United Nations. This is going to be real bad. While at the same time, he's still running around. Ain't nothing a town center's going to do against this unit with 6 pierce armor. This is basically a hussar that attacks as strong as a paladin with 110 HP now, by the way, instead of 95. So fantastic maneuver out of Liereyy. I was dubious at first, questioning it. Did he do the right thing? Should he have just sent all of his Menaspas? But zoning Mysterio out. I get what Mysterio was doing here. He wanted to pull the Menaspas into the castle fire, and kudos for him for doing that and eventually killing all 10 of those Menaspas. But look at how hard it was to kill 10 freaking Menaspas, and now all of a sudden you're dealing with 31. And so Mysterio, as the Huns, unable to wall his base in, except for spending stone, which, like murder holes, I think pros are generally allergic to doing. There's nothing left for him. Villager slaughter about to happen. Reinforcements are getting caught out, and his main body is out of position completely, which means map control to the Georgian, who has no fewer than 3 castles. Mysterio has seen 1, 2, 3 of them now. So he knows he's facing a Menaspa swarm, and he knows there's literally nothing that he's going to be able to do about this insanely tanky unit. He has missed the boat on transitioning into a melee Hunnic cavalry play, because remember, the Hunnic cavalry line is pristine. If he wanted to go Paladin, if he wanted to go something heavier, I mean, Tarkans, I hesitate to say Tarkans, but if he wanted Cavaliers, at the very least, he easily could have done that. And remember, the stables do work 20% faster right off the bat. So they can start pumping out. Number one, they can research Cavalier quicker. And then number two, they can start pumping out Cavaliers quicker. Unfortunately, Mysterio's base is just completely wide open. There's nowhere for him to send these villagers. This town center is already full, which means there's literally only this town center. And by the time those villagers cross this wide expanse of Arabian, what do we want to call it, autumnal grass, you best believe they're all going to be dead. And Liereyy with the last minute multi-prong diffusing fart in a room attack just absolutely manages to take down this Hunnic settlement. 51 Manaspas, 84 Cav Archers, Skirmishers, Pike. Pike? Am I missing something? Did I even see a single pikeman? Why do I feel like I didn't see a single pikeman in this game? Was I just so focused on the Cav Archer and the Manaspa play that I completely missed the pikeman? Or were they like spearmen for 99% of the game, and then the last 5 seconds he clicked the pikeman upgrade? I'm going to have to take a look at when he researched this. This is weird. I don't remember seeing a pikeman on the field, but again, that's just speaks to the professionalism of yours truly. APM is hero level right at the end of the game. Mysterio also towards the end of the game. Economically, not too big of a difference. Looks like one relic apiece. So we still didn't get the relic. No, never mind. Relic here, relic here. Oh, this is the relic. So there wasn't a third that was gathered. I just missed it in my my scouting of the map. Sometimes when it's next to deer or next to stone or next to some other resource, my eye just kind of glosses over it, like it's some kind of Jedi mind trick. Like, this is not the relic you are looking for, says the map. But on the whole, what a close game. Food, stone, wood, gold. I mean, there's your Cav Archer play, but look at that. Not a huge difference except in stone. And actually, you know what? Food as well. Actually, pretty decent sized differences in all four resources. What the hell am I talking about? Thousands of resources apart on all of them. And where the hell is the pikeman upgrade for our Hun? Okay, there's squires. There's the armor upgrade. Yeah, it was literally like a second ago. Yeah, okay, come on. I knew something was up. It was at 42:31, literally 32 seconds before the end of the game. Okay, I knew something was up. I miss things, as any regular viewer of the channel knows. But I mean, I would have been super embarrassed if somehow Mysterio had pumped out, what did it say? Ooh, pardon me. 13 pikemen, and I completely missed seeing even one. But no, they were spearmen the whole time. This is a Feudal Age army that right at the end of the game got upgraded to pikemen. Okay. No conversions, 1 raisings. Let's take a look at the total kill count. Looks like our Georgian right at the end there managed to overtake Mysterio, who, by the way, did a fantastic job killing villagers on this side of the map. Unfortunately, just didn't do enough. And how many fortified churches? 4 fortified churches roiding up lumberjacks, farmers, gold miners, stone miners, any unit within an 8-tile radius. So you don't be fooled when you click on the fortified church. Actually, this one's a bit harder to see. Let's use this one as an example. When you click on a fortified church and you see this squircle here, that's the attack radius. So add 2 more tiles in each direction. And that's the 10% worker boost that the Georgians get. It is just a ridiculous boost to their economy. And with that boost, with the Manaspa, with the press out and the fantastic zoning out of a huge chunk of Mysterio's army, he just catches the Hun completely out in the open. And the Hun is about to lose 17 more villagers. He's about to lose 6 or 7 more Cav Archers. And these, I don't even know what the hell to make of this. He's seen the lumber camp as he was chasing the Cav Archers. So Liereyy knows that there is possibly even more damage to be done here. And Mysterio knows all that. Lives to fight another day. Taps out. But it is our Georgian with the Manaspa play who is victorious. But GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.